Have you ever dreamt of like guilt-free sweets?
All the
Like you can
time.
eat so much that you don't feel bad about it when you ate it all?
Yeah, all the time. Maybe our special guest can tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, all the way from Miami, Florida. Welcome, Rym.
Hi, hi. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, our pleasure. So
Yeah.
tell listeners a little bit more about yourself and your company.
Yeah, sure. I've created this company initially like several years ago. I used to live in London, and we created what was at that time the first Magnum style of ice cream. And then COVID hit, go back and forth anymore. And also, I contracted a gestational diabetes, so it forced me to rethink about how I could bring, like, basically, how I could expand or more focus, let's say, my business here in the US because I couldn't travel anymore. So I decided to bring all our operations here, and now we are basically like we've launched recently, and we've created like a full line of chocolate and baking goodies that have less than a teaspoon of sugar for a whole bag or a whole bar, and that are plant based.
Yeah,
Amazing.
we had the pleasure to try it, and
Yeah,
it's
so
amazing.
good.
Yeah,
Like you
so
can't
good.
even tell the difference that there's no
Thank you so
sugar,
much.
because some treats maybe not, they
Thank you.
don't have the sugar, but you can tell, but not with your products at all.
And I'm
Like
a
the
huge fan of peanut butter, and
Thank
Yeah,
you.
right.
the
The
peanut
peanut
butter
butter cups.
one.
Oh, it's
That
so
one was
good.
really good for me.
Yeah, we tried them in our recipes already. We did like some desserts, right? Like
Yeah,
we're gonna do some muffins soon
we
too
had
with
the
the chocolate
chocolate
chips.
drop. Yeah, the chocolate chips,
And there's the
and they're
peanut butter
super yummy.
chocolate chips too.
The peanut butter
Like,
chocolate chips,
well, not
I
with the
could eat the
chocolate, but
whole bag.
yeah,
They're
right.
so good.
So
Yes,
amazing. What inspired you
yes,
to
yes.
start this type of company where you go all the way sugar free?
So I was following a plant-based diet. I've been following a plant-based diet for several years, almost seven. And the thing is, I, I mean, plant-based diet is good in the sense that you eat a lot of whole foods and it can be very healthy. But the problem is, I still had like a sweet tooth, and it kicked a lot during my pregnancy. So I ended up with a gestational diabetes. So I had to
Oh.
make sure that I could still indulge like while still being able to follow my plant-based diet because this diet has done wonders for me. And the thing is, I couldn't because I've been living in the US for quite some time now, like about 5 years, and I couldn't find anything. So I went to Whole Foods, to Target, like to a lot of like grocery stores, and everything I could find was like dark chocolate, like with a low amount of sugar, or otherwise there was like a very strong aftertaste,
Mhm.
and I wasn't very much satisfied. And at that time, we came here to. I basically stopped my operations in Europe, and I thought, okay, I have a product here. I have an idea of a product, and it's not a me too product because it can really bring something to the table, because all the products here that are low sugar are either um, basically like have a strong aftertaste or have an ingredient list that I didn't feel very comfortable to eat on a day-to-day basis. Um, Otherwise, have been created with one. Sorry for the noise.
No
No
Have been
worries.
created with
problem.
one single single use. So you can either, for example, eat them straight from the bag, but then they won't melt very well if you do baking, or otherwise the mouth feel isn't really uh, similar to what chocolate is. So I wanted really to create a product that ticked all the boxes because I have this food background, and at the same time I follow a plant-based diet, and I didn't want chocolate was that was just dark chocolate that is by definition plant-based or vegan. I wanted more, and same for the sugar. So I wanted a product that had no aftertaste, that could fool the most skeptical people. So that's how I ended up creating this kind of
And it
product.
That's
most certainly
amazing.
does. Yeah,
Yeah, I grew
it's
up in
delicious.
in Europe. So we actually need the products you have over there. Are you planning to bringing them back to Europe to distribute them over there?
Not now. So
Yeah.
now it's not part of the plan. I think that the US is a huge market and there is so much to do
Right.
right
Right.
now. And I finally found stability in the sense that I used to travel all the time back and forth, and I was exhausted anyway. And now having a child at a young age, like she needs me, so it's not something that I can do or want to do anymore, just for my own health. And yeah, and I love stability somehow.
Of course.
So yeah, so it's not part of the plan.
Right. And what inspired you to go fully plant based? I mean, before you started this amazing journey.
Yes, so I have a French. So initially, I was born and raised in France. Um, France, as you know, very strong culinary history, and it's very heavy in milk, in cheese, in eggs. So pastry there is everything. Like a lot of people, like basically eats these every day.
Yeah.
So for me, when I moved to London, I I found myself very so still like my mom is an amazing cook, so I really wanted to keep like practicing what I know. I found like there was because plant based was not what it is now, so now it's very mainstream.
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
at the time it wasn't, especially in Europe.
Yeah, right.
So uh, yeah, exactly. So I wanted basically to create something for me that was delicious initially, and it just started out of a challenge. I wanted to go on a 14-day challenge. I wanted to go dairy free. Initially, it started as a dairy free challenge. And after this period, I found that my energy level was better, my skin was better, and I found like even my digestion, like everything. So I thought, okay, actually, it wasn't that difficult, and and I wanted to push it a bit further because the people I knew that were on social media that were talking about plant based, like they all, absolutely all, were amazed by the results of a plant based diet. So I thought, okay, I mean, it's just 2 weeks, let's see. And then I saw amazing results, like literally. Just my sleep was so different, my productivity, my like I used to be addicted to this espresso after lunch. I no longer needed it. Um, like it was, I felt great for the first time in such a long time.
Wow.
So I will learn to cook like the French stuff, but veganize them.
Oh.
And that's how I really went into this type of diet, and I really absolutely love it till now.
Nice. What's your favorite French vegan dish?
Yeah. What's your favorite French dish?
Um, so it's very interesting because we don't have. So France is very um, it's very spread out in the sense that, for example, what you have like in the south of France, it's very much Mediterranean food. It's not French food. French
Right.
food doesn't very much exist. It's very like inventive food, creative food, but we don't have like a French food that people consume like everywhere in France. Like for
Mm-hmm.
example, north will be very heavy in butter. South will be heavy in like olive oil, um, and we all have like very different ways of cooking. So my way of cooking is very close to like south of France. This is where I come from, so very Mediterranean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that if I had like a very quick thing I used to love when I was younger was the omelette, but with an amazing cheese,
Yeah.
and my mom would put like some tomatoes, but those very fresh tomatoes, and
Hmm.
uh, like it's just the art of celebrating taking very simple ingredients and making a feast out of them. And that's really how, like, that was my inspiration. But then when you go to Paris, it's a whole different culinary scene. It's
Right.
Right.
still something very, very different. So yes, so there is not no such French food eat everywhere. Like for example, in the US, you would say there's um, I don't know, like maybe the national thing is hamburgers,
Yeah, they
but
don't
we
really
don't
have a
we
national
don't have
food, eh? Even in
No.
Canada, I guess. Well, ours would be
Poutine, right?
poutine, but I we
You guys don't.
barely, rarely see it on the West
There's a
Coast here.
lot of Italian food, right? Sushi
Yeah,
and
I would
stuff.
say it's more
It's more
Asian
abroad.
inspired,
Yeah,
especially on the West Coast, than it would be like poutine
yeah.
or ketchup or
that's true.
something. Yeah.
Interesting.
The Canadian stereotypes
Yeah,
definitely
right.
don't come this far sometimes.
Yeah, there's a lot of influence.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. When I
for
think
sure.
of France, I think of like quiche and croissants.
Croissants.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. It's so good.
Actually, quiche is great.
Yeah, right. It's so
Yes.
good.
Yes, breakfast. No, yeah, you're right. Like breakfast is still different. Like it's very like everyone eats the same thing for breakfast. Or almost in France. It's very sweet, the type of breakfast we have.
Right.
But otherwise, for savory, it very much depends on the
Yeah, interesting. Thanks for
Hmm.
sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would like to learn more about your approach towards sugar-free baking and what are the benefits in your opinion?
So for me, it was it like after I contracted my gestational diabetes, like I met my doctor, and I mean, after giving birth, and they said that I would have to always watch for the amount of sugar I would consume because I'm prone to contracting diabetes.
Mhm.
Um, so for me, like um, sugar free, like a sugar free or no added sugar baking is a necessity. um, I'm not saying that. So I know that, for example, dates is amazing, but it's more no added sugar because it provides like a texture and everything. And for baking, you can achieve like really good results. For me, I prefer having like I've learned to use stevia, for example,
Mhm.
and because stevia can have like a very strong aftertaste, but you know you need to practice to use it in the right way to remove the aftertaste of stevia. So, and that's what I've learned. So for me, really, like a sugar-free is just like so beneficial for your health. And then now that I do that for living as well, I see a lot of people, a lot of our customers are like people following a keto diet, and the feedback has been that they can even have like sweet stuff on a keto diet, which was something they thought they would never be able to do. So for me, it's just like my lifesaver, literally, because I don't want to become diabetic. It's just I know people in my family that are, and it's
Mhm.
very hard.
Hmm.
But so yeah, for me, it's just like health benefits,
Right.
clearly.
You even have
For
like
sure.
sugar-free maple syrup.
Yeah,
Wow,
the
that's a
sugar
big
for
competitor for like
Canadians. There you
Canadians. Yeah.
go. Yeah, speaking of Canadian stuff, yeah. Sugar-free maple syrup was actually pretty
That
good.
was
It was
so
pretty
good.
close. Pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't have a weird aftertaste
Yes,
at all. It just tastes really good. We put in our banana muffins.
thank you.
Yeah,
It
it'd
was really
be
good.
next time we make pancakes, we're definitely gonna put them on there
Yeah,
too. Yeah,
definitely.
they're yummy.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes, so this was really because maple syrup, I mean, is just an amazing, amazing, amazing ingredient. I think we all agree, especially you guys are Canadian, so I don't think you're going to say the opposite. But it's just like so versatile. You can drizzle, but you can also bake with it. And there are actually vitamins and minerals that really makes it like a good, let's say, no refined sugar alternative. So I wanted to create this time a no, like a very low sugar kind of maple syrup. And the target was to just have a maximum of 2 grams sugar for per serving, which is 2 tablespoons. And yeah, and that's really because I used to have it all the time, baking and on
Yeah.
pancakes and waffles, and yeah.
Great. And do you
Yeah.
have any advice for people who would like to bake more healthy, especially when you live in a small town, you have very limited access to products, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, I think it's always nice to start with to find a blog that like have very simple recipes, like and recipes with just a few ingredients.
Yeah.
That's the first thing because not only like it will be like easier and less intimidating to start baking, but it will also like you're more likely to have the ingredients. And then I think that depending on the sweeteners you choose, um, there is a little bit of practice, but there like Amazon, for example, is an amazing place to get shipped. You do a subscribe and save once a month or once every 2 months. You get your orders shipped, and that's it. You don't need to leave your house, and even if you live in a small town, you can still get like the right products. And I believe that yeah, it's like you can find these on Amazon, but you can also find these on alternative websites, like basically like brand websites. Um, Normally they ship everywhere, but that's for me when I find like when there is a brand I really really like or an ingredient that I really want, I just don't go outside anyway to buy it at the supermarket. I just order it,
Right.
and then subscribe and saves are just like um, lifesavers because there is a discount, so it's less expensive, and you don't need to replace an order every time.
That sounds
Wow.
great.
Yeah, Amazon's good for people that can't get access to all the goodies because it's
Totally.
just
Yeah,
there for everyone and so convenient and
yeah.
It's
yeah.
just tricky when you
But
live.
with COVID,
Yes?
yeah, sorry, Julia. With COVID, like everything has changed.
Yeah.
Like now you no longer need to rely just on Amazon. Like for example, if you have a very specific brand in mind that you really love, that isn't even on Amazon, you can still get delivered, which wasn't like necessarily the case before. A lot of brands would ship, but there would be a lot of restrictions. Now it's so easy. Like you can have access to any type of product you want. Um, but yeah, I think that finding one or two blogs, just to go back to your question, that like offer recipes like regularly that have less than 5 ingredients is the best and easiest way to start, especially if you're intimidated by like this whole cooking baking process.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
totally.
And
Start
how
simple and work
exactly,
more
I
elegant.
agree.
Yes.
And how can people get your products, you know, when they don't live in the States or let's say they live in Canada or in Germany? Do they have, are they able to order them online wherever they are in the world?
So at the moment, we only ship in the US. We are working on Canada, like as the next country, and I don't think we will do more than US and Canada. But it's a country that I really have my eyes on because I think that their um, tastes are not too different from US tastes,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and still the same language. And because when you think about it in Europe, there are so many languages.
Right.
Yeah.
400, I think, 20 million people live in Europe. But now, if you think of the amount of languages that are, the amount of cultures, the amount of history, heritage, like it's very much you don't talk to 4 people plus, like you talk to 60 million people at a time. While the US is already a huge market, but then Canada is like very close to some aspect because of the language,
Mm-hmm.
because there's been like a bit of history between the two countries, and the kind of like the tastes are not too far from each other.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, when you have a concept that works in Canada, it works in the US and vice versa.
Oh, for
Right.
sure.
So yeah, so that's why we really believe that Canada can be very successful for us, like a successful market.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about future plans, you
Yeah,
pretty
we
much
know you're gonna come to
told them.
Canada
Yeah.
real soon here. But
Yes,
yeah, is there
yes.
any other future plans that you got
Mm-hmm.
going? Like maybe go to
Um,
Mexico for a vacation?
no, I think,
No.
oh no, vacation, no, it won't be for
Everyone's
now.
going there
But
lately, so I
Yeah.
don't know, you know.
Yeah, right.
no, I love this country. I really, really love Mexico, but it's not part of the plan for this year. No, I'm trying actually to visit my parents in France. I
Oh,
haven't seen my
nice.
dad in almost 3 years because of COVID.
Oh,
Oh,
So this year
going to
is the right one.
France.
I need to go and yeah, to go and visit him.
nice.
But yeah, otherwise, business wise, yeah, we plan to create more flavors of peanuts. And
Yummy.
Ooh.
one of the feedback we got was about our sugar. A lot of people say that our sweetener blend has no aftertaste, and they would like we received a lot of suggestions to offer it separately. So it's something that we want to be able to put on the market. So it's something we're working on.
Wow, that sounds
Sounds
amazing.
like you're gonna be busy.
Yeah.
Really busy.
Now with things opening
Yeah,
up, it's gonna be even a higher demand, I feel.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
it's like the way I see it is just there is still so much to do in the low space. I found because it's not as mainstream as other for example, do you remember like the paleo time where you would have like so many paleo products everywhere on shelves?
Yeah.
That's no longer the case. But in the low sugar space, so of course there's keto that is not too far from, I mean, it's low sugar is one of the components of the keto diet, not the only component, but one of them. But then when you consider like just low sugar and you just disregard like keto, there is so much to do in this arena, because like there are more and more brands starting to look at it. But I find that um, they look at it from a business perspective, not from a consumer perspective, because very often, like in bigger, like in blue chips companies, they do stuff based on data. They don't have a founder really, like they have shareholders. And so there is, the way they do it is dictated by data, like quantitative data, not qualitative one necessarily. and and I find that there is a bit of a letdown somehow, uh, because they are not that close to customers. There is so many layers between the company and the customers, and that's for that reason that we feel there is something to do on our side, because the smaller you are, the more agile you are too. Um, so yeah, so that's why we're trying to really listen to our customers and then operate.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
where can the listeners find you, and if they're in the States, where can they pick up your products?
Yeah.
So at the moment, we just want to sell on our website,
Okay.
because it's more exclusive and everything. So yeah, on our website, and it's MiiRO, MiiRO.co.
That's amazing. I'm
Yeah.
sure you get a lot
Perfect.
of customers and they won't regret trying
Yeah,
the
we'll put up
sweets.
in the show notes, and people can buy their not so sweet stuff,
Yeah, right?
I guess you'd say. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we are happy to issue a discount code for your audience. Yeah, it's always very nice to do that, and for your audience that listen to a podcast, and they can try. And so yeah, we're more than happy to issue a discount for you.
Oh,
You could add to your notes
Oh,
if you
that's
want to.
great.
yeah,
Thanks
that's
so
awesome.
much.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Awesome. Thanks for being on
Yeah.
our show.
Thanks for
and
being on our show and taking the time in your busy
Yeah.
schedule, watching kids and doing a
Thank
podcast
you
at
very
the
much.
same time. It's not an
Yeah.
easy task, but you did it well.
Yeah, you
I
balanced it
hope
really well.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it's still like very like yeah, you didn't hear her like singing and and calling
She was
us
an
and
angel.
Oh yeah, she
Yeah.
was fine.
okay,
Yeah.
cool,
Thanks so
perfect.
much, and
Thank you so much, guys.
yeah, à la prochaine. Au revoir.
Take care,
Thank
eh?
you. Au revoir.
See
Bye.
ya.
Bye.